Hi artists, I miss you a lot, and I hope you have a little bit of time to make some art. I'm going to be reading you one of my favorite stories called Ish, and it's by Peter Reynolds, who's the same artist and author who wrote the story The Dot, which I think a lot of you have already read. This is about a little boy who likes to draw all the time. So I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to give you a quick drawing assignment, and I'm going to draw along with you, and hopefully you have time to draw with me. Ish. And it looks like there's a pencil and a piece of paper that has been crumpled up, and it looks like a little sketch of a vase and some flowers. And I wonder if we're going to be drawing something like that today. Ish. And it looks like that line is squiggly and goes all the way down and creates this beautiful, little bit messy, but really pretty picture of a vase. Raymond loved to draw. You can see this little boy who is drawing. He's already made about 4 pictures. Anytime, looks like he's drawing late at night in bed. Anything, looks like he's out drawing the trash cans. I see a little bit of a fly buzzing around there. And anywhere. One day, Raymond was drawing a vase of flowers. His brother Leon leaned over his shoulder. Leon burst out laughing. "What is that?" he asked. Doesn't sound very nice. Raymond could not even answer. He just crumpled up the drawing and threw it across the room. I felt like that sometimes when I draw something and people don't like it. Leon's laughter haunted Raymond. He kept trying to make his drawings look right, but they never did. Wow, he looks like he has crumpled up a ton of drawings that he thinks don't look right. After many months and many crumpled sheets of paper, Raymond put his pencil down. "I'm done," he said. Sounds like he has just about given up. Marisol, his sister, was watching him. "What do you want?" he snapped. "I was watching you draw," she said. Raymond sneered. "I'm not drawing. Go away." Marisol ran away, but not before picking up a crumpled sheet of paper. "Hey, come back here with that!" Raymond raced after Marisol, up the hall and into her room. I wonder where she's going with that drawing. He was about to yell, but fell silent when he saw his sister's walls. He stared at the crumpled gallery. Look at all of those pictures that she has secretly taken that he was throwing away that he didn't think looked very good. But it looks like she uncrumpled them and hung them up on her bedroom wall. She must like them. "This is one of my favorites," Marisol said, pointing. "That was supposed to be a vase of flowers," Raymond said, "but it doesn't look like one." "Well, it looks vase-ish," she exclaimed. "Vase-ish?" Raymond looked closer. Then he studied all the drawings on Marisol's walls and began to see them in a whole new way. "They do look ish," he said. See, so he's sort of starting to look at things a little bit differently. Like it doesn't have to look exactly like real life. Raymond felt light and energized. Thinking ishly allowed his ideas to flow freely. He began to draw what he felt, loose lines quickly springing out without worry. Look at all those drawings. He's drawing so fast, it looks like those papers are actually just flying off of his pad of paper. Raymond once again drew and drew the world around him, making an ish drawing felt wonderful. He's outside drawing the tree, sort of like what we're going to be doing in just a minute. He filled his journals. Tree-ish, house-ish, boat-ish, afternoon-ish, fish-ish, and sun-ish. Raymond realized he could draw ish feelings too. Peace-ish, silly-ish, excited-ish. His ish art inspired ish writing. He wasn't sure if he was writing poems, but he knew they were poem-ish. And the poem that he has written right down here is kind of funny, so I'm going to read it to you. The poem is called Ponder. And it says, "Pond, ponder, dream yonder, pond, pond, yond, gleam, wander," by Raymond. Sounds a little bit like a nonsense poem to me. One spring morning, Raymond had a wonderful feeling. It was a feeling that even Ish words and Ish drawings could not capture. He decided not to capture it. Instead, he simply savored it. And I bet you can tell by this picture that the word savor means he just enjoyed it. He was just outside and he didn't feel like he had to write it down or draw it or paint it. He just could enjoy it. And hopefully you are able to get outside and enjoy a little bit of this nice weather too. And Raymond lived ishfully ever after. And it looks like he is just running through this world colorfully with all those beautiful swirly lines and some flowers, sort of like what we're going to draw. The end-ish. So what I liked about this story is, first of all, Raymond discovered that he didn't have to have his drawings look exactly like real life. I also love that he used one long, connected, flowing line. And that's something that I kind of want us to work on. And even though I can't be there with you to draw with you, I wanted to show you a little bit of a very quick project that is drawing some flowers that you might be seeing outside. And even if you haven't been able to get outside very much, I bet you've seen some of these flowers either in pictures, or before when the weather starts to get really warm. And what we're going to be drawing is we're going to be drawing a couple real flowers and maybe some made up flowers. And I bet you have your own way of making flowers. And if you want to draw your own flowers, that's amazing too. But I'm going to show you a couple of my favorites that I have right in my yard right now. And these ones are called daffodils. And what I like about them is sometimes they're different colors, and they have this orange and this yellow ring on the inside, and then they have these white petals, and sometimes there are a lot of different colors. So I'm going to be drawing that and showing you how to draw that. And there's also a really pretty flower called a tulip, and these are just popping up right now, and I picked one of these, and it's beautiful. I love the yellow and the red on the same petals, and so we're going to be drawing one of these as well as the leaves and the long stem. And I'm going to show you how I like to draw grass to connect all of these flowers together. So if you have just a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil or a marker, that's all you need. That's all you need. If you have a few extra colors, so if you have some crayons or colored pencils or markers, then what I want you to do is pick 3 of them. And it can be any 3, but lighter colors are going to work the best. And I want you to, on the piece of paper, this is one time when it's going to be okay to just scribble, scrabble. We're actually going to start with the color before we draw the flowers. And that's weird because usually when we're doing coloring pages or when we do art in art class, we draw the picture and then we color it. But right now, because I don't know what colors you have at home, and maybe you don't have that many, we're just gonna use some color, put it on the paper first, and then we're gonna draw our drawings dark and black on top of them. So I put some yellow here first because I've seen so many yellow flowers outside. I'm gonna put blue, kind of like a sky blue, right? And notice that I'm just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. What's kind of cool with my markers, and this might happen with yours too, is when the blue hits the yellow, I'm seeing that it actually turns into a little bit of green, which is totally cool because I see lots of green in the grass outside right now and in the leaves that are just starting to form and blossom on the trees. And that also happens to be my 3rd color. This is sort of a minty green, but it doesn't really matter what green you use because I see all types of green outside, not just one type of green. These markers honestly are drying up. So if your markers at home are drying up, then they're probably exactly like mine. Ugh, man, I do not like dried markers, but dried markers are better than no markers. So you can use crayons or colored pencils, or if you don't have any colors, you can just skip that step and go straight to the part where we're gonna be drawing our flowers. So I'm gonna be drawing 3 different types of flowers, and you can draw all one type, or you can pick and choose your favorites. Or you can look outside or on the computer or in a book and figure out a different type of flower that you'd like to draw. So the first flower that I'm going to draw is, let's see, I'm going to draw the tulip. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to do a swirly line. I'm going to do a big swirly line like that and stop. And this almost looks like a whirlpool, or the galaxy swirling stars. And I'm gonna connect it with one big U. And I'm going to make this petal right here. So that's the top of the flower. Let's see. Do a stem all the way down to the bottom. And the leaves are one of those things that are sort of like two curved lines. And I've found that sometimes they grow all along the stem and they have a line in the middle. A lot of times stems that I see, or leaves that I see, have lines in the middle. If you wanted to turn this into a rose, you could do some thorns, prickly thorns. Make sure that you don't prick your finger on those thorns. I like that. I'm going to draw a daisy next. That one just has a solid black middle, a circle just like that, and it's going to have lots of different petals, tons of petals, lots of petals, okay? So like however old you are, I want you to double that. If you're 7, I want you to draw 14 petals, okay? And I am actually going to have my petals overlap. Do you see how I'm allowing this little bit of overlap here? That means they are on top of each other. I think it makes it look cool. This is how I draw daisies. If you want to draw it a little bit different, that's okay. See how I'm just going over and over and over again? I love how that looks. And my daisy hit the tulip or the rose, and I love that overlap. So I'm actually going to have the stem of the daisy, I'm going to have a double stem. And I'm going to have the leaves, they're going to be different than this one, okay? Because I think all the flowers have different leaves. So I'm going to have a big swirling leaf like this, and this leaf comes over in front of my rose. All right, next one. I'm going to draw one of those dandelions. They're like really, really poofy and white, and you can sort of blow on them and make a wish. I used to wish on them all the time when I was your age. I still kind of do. And those have a little dot in the middle as well. And then lots of lines, like even more lines than the daisy. It's just like a big puffball, but they all come to that middle dot right there. Lots and lots and lots of lines. And at the end of those lines, I've noticed that there are little letter W's or V's. I'm gonna do V's and W's. They kind of look like squiggles. You see what I'm doing here? Little tiny squiggle marks on the ends of each one. Don't skip one. Every single one needs one, okay? Some of them are longer and some of them are shorter. Okay. Ooh, I like how that looks. That one needs a stem too, doesn't it? I'm gonna give that a double stem too. Do you see how my lines, sort of like Raymond's, they're a little bit squiggly, and I am super not worried about it. I'm drawing this backwards, upside down, and in the camera, and it's okay, but this one is gonna have, let's say a spiky leaf. So I'm gonna do a bunch of U's like this. Doesn't that look like it's a pokey, spiky leaf? So this rose has spiky thorns, that has a spiky leaf, and I'm gonna start attaching these now with my own type of grass. I've noticed that the grass outside sometimes is very tall, sometimes very short. And so rather than just doing zigzags, right? Because sometimes we draw grass like this. I'm gonna draw long, short. You see how I did that? So it kind of looks like I'm scrabbling, but I do long, short. Long, short. And I'm not really worried about drawing it very carefully. Sometimes when we're artists, we just draw a little bit quickly and it makes it look great and fresh and exciting, okay? I love how this looks, and what I really like about it is it looks like we colored in the flowers, but we actually just scribbled with color before we drew the flowers, or it could look like the sun and the sky. And so that's one of my favorite things about these drawings. If you want to go ahead and add some bumblebees or butterflies or even a snail, I'm pretty sure you all know how to draw those, right? The snail would just be another one of these curly marks, these curly lines like that, and then the snail's head. And a bumblebee. Maybe he's up here choosing his favorite flower. They always have stripes. But we're not worried about coloring them in right now, unless you want to. Don't forget the antennas. Heart-shaped wings. That does not look like a very scary bumblebee. I really like our spring drawing. If you're able to draw this, I bet there's somebody that would love to get this drawing from you. It would make them feel so much better, and it would be bright and sunshiny. It would really lift up their day. So if you want to share that with me, I'd love to see it. If you want to give it to somebody at your house, then I'm sure that they would love to get it as well. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.